friends? How do we do today? I hope fantastic. I hope you've all had a wonderful week since I've been on here. This is the Comp Queen with me, Cassie. I'm excited to be here this week. I'm pulling something up for you guys while I wait for people to get on. We're waiting for some comments to start rolling through. If you guys are here, say hello. Let me know. I went live maybe like a couple of minutes early, so I wouldn't be entirely surprised if it takes a minute for everybody to get on. So what I will do, I've already got, one comp to go over live for you guys here, but that's what this show is all about. And old afternoon Queen Cassie. I think that's supposed to say good. Yep. Good afternoon, my friend. I hope you are well. What's up, Nilton, not Milton? I love it. Good afternoon, my friends. So glad you could join me today. So yeah, what we do here on the show is I comp live. I show you guys how I comp. You guys can enter in properties that you're having trouble comping, or just to get an example and see if we are close, if we have the same exact number way of viewing things. I like to show the products that we use. Pretty much all we can use right now as far as softwares and comping nationwide, because we are nationwide. We're a nationwide company, is batch. So, which is pretty convenient for us because it's right there in all the tools that we already use, right? So, I have been a longtime fan and user of the PropStream comps. I still split test it in my day-to-day, as well as split test Propelio, but right now I'm just not getting comps. And frankly, the only, we will continue to have a product like that, just because, one, we are nationwide. Two, we also, in a way, without sounding egotistical, we are looked up to by many as industry leaders in what we do in the space that we function in. And so I really always want to do everything that I can to be up to date and in tune with the products that people are using. But I very rarely am going to change my tune on something. I like to stick with what works. So what works for us is batch. What's worked for us for quite some time is batch. So you do and are able to get a promo code. That's not why I say. You guys can go back to past episodes where I've been a huge advocate of PropStream and Propelio in the past. So, and not just specifically for comping, but I've used all of those products and others for many different reasons. And there's a reason we do what we do and how we do it, because it's the best. So we put our name on the best that we can find. So it's kind of quite the opposite. We don't really want to be in a position of saying that something works that doesn't work. We don't want to put our name on something that doesn't work for us. And so this is what we do every day. I will split test some things, but realistically, at this point in time, you're pretty much just only going to see me comping on batch. And I try to verify my numbers in multiple ways now that you guys will see. So, so good to see you, Raymond. Thank you for joining, my girl. What's up? Hi, Laura. Hello, Mr. Brown. Crazy World coming out with PropStream. Crazy word coming out with PropStream. I don't know what's going on over there. Hello, my dear friend Robin. So good to see you today. Thank you, Michelle. I am so glad that you made it here today, and I'm very excited to see you as well as Heather, two of our most recent Crucible Titan graduates here. I'm very excited to be working with you guys and that you can make it to the show today. So that being said, if you guys have comps that you want to see me pull live and follow along side by side, that's really the intent behind this show. If you are watching on Facebook and you don't subscribe to StreamYard, all I can see is right here. It says Facebook user. And I don't know who you are, but hey, good to see you. Glad you're here. And from there on out, what I will do is if you put your properties in the comments, I'll comp them live with you guys. And we'll get rocking and rolling. What up, Cassie? Love the show. Always running super tight comps. We're seeing best results with actually comps also for nationwide usage. Thank you so much. I really always love it when somebody else backs up what I'm saying, because it's one of those things. I've grown up to be one of those people where like two heads are better than one, or like trust but verify type of situation. With us being nationwide, obviously our whole company is comping properties all over the country, all day, every day. Okay. This is not just coming from me, even though I am the comp queen. I did not title myself that, as some people want to sit there and be like, oh yeah, it's so cute to call yourself the queen, or whatever. But I do love the title. I'm honored. But my point being, I do love it when other people are experiencing the same thing, because that's really another part of this that we don't necessarily always talk about. Even though it's not just me, it's my whole team, and this is the results that we're seeing all over the country. We might be having people that follow us or coming here for advice or help or whatever, that, they might just be in one market or two markets or whatever, close to home, and they might have a little bit different experience, and that helps us to get better. That helps us to provide information into Batch itself or any other product that we use. It is about community, right? So we do have a really good relationship with Batch at this point, but we did not start using Batch's products before or after that relationship was established. It was through using their products that our relationship was established. And we put our name on it because that's how much we believe in it, So that being said, we're very, very open and transparent here. But I love that backup Facebook user because, it's not just me saying it, right? All right. So I'm going to write down your property, Nilton. This looks super weird, but it is Connecticut. It's been a while since I comped something in Connecticut, it feels like. So that's good and exciting. Quantum XRP. I can help you comp this if you spell my name right, forever and ever. Amen. I give people a hard time like this because it literally says it, but also only just because I don't want some people to read it wrong. And like, that is your more traditional spelling of my name. And the reason why I'm a little bit of a weirdo about it is because I want people to be able to find me on social media. And if they spell it with the E on the end, it might be harder for them to find me. So you don't really have to spell it right. I really will comp that for you. Facebook or Fernando. Hi, honey. How are you? Good to see you. Got another Titan in the house. Okay, so that he said, my bad. It's all good, honey. I honestly, the only reason I even say anything is, we do utilize our YouTube page just has RJ's name on it. We started that out just because of the podcast originally years and years ago, and it only made sense to just continue what we'd already built, continue to grow that. So when people go to find me on like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or whatever, I don't want them to spell my name wrong and not be able to find me. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to get to going over my comp rules really fast. And then we're going to get into comp in here because I want to make sure. Cassie, not Cassie. That's what I did. That is Absolutely adorable, Milton. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Cassie, not Cassie. Oh, I love it. That's so cute. All right, so I'm gonna get and dig in here. First thing I'm gonna do is, oh, I already hit that banner. I'm gonna start digging into our basic comp rules really fast. We'll just go over. It's kind of like a housekeeping item if you are already, you know, a follower, if you're not a first time joiner on this show. So the comp rules that I'd like to kind of go over, you guys want to make sure that you're including for adjustments that an appraiser would make. I call them like appraisal rules. Even though we don't have their fancy software to push in UBKit or plug our information into, you still want to make sure you're making adjustments. So a lot of times people will just make adjustments for square footage. By adjustments, it means you add price per square foot or subtract price per square foot. So if your comp is larger, you would subtract the price per square foot, and that would be your comp number. If the comp is smaller, you would add that amount. If it has more bedrooms, if it has more bathrooms, if it has a pool and yours doesn't, if it has a garage and yours doesn't, people are making an adjustment, right? So you obviously know how to get a price per square footage adjustment, and if I will go over that on one of these comps, I'm sure. You also would want to add or subtract $10,000 for a bedroom, a bathroom, a garage, a pool. I really think $20,000 for a pool. But guys, understand that that's a general rule of thumb. You know what they say about rules of thumb. So keep in mind that your comps should also be able to give you an idea. But you have to be cognizant of the adjustments that you have to make. You can't have, a $30,000 difference and it has another bedroom and an extra garage space and a pool with a cabana and an outdoor kitchen, and yours has none of that, and you think it's going to sell for the same price. It's just common sense, right? But sometimes people forget to make the correct adjustments for all of those things. So that being said, there's those rules. I try not to go outside of the subdivision. I try not to cross major roads. Sometimes subdivisions be funky like that. You don't have to cross a major road and it's like literally made by the same builder. They just called it a different subdivision that's divided by a residential street. Obviously, you can use comps that make sense. But what I like to do is if you're doing that, you want to compare the data overall on both sides of the road. So you'll hear me use things like I go broad. So I brought, excuse me. I broaden up my default settings, so be it square footage, build year, etc., and then I narrow them in because I'm getting a feel for what that market can sustain, and then I narrow it in, right? You don't ever want to be pricing yourself out of a market on a flip or anything like that. Also keep in mind in areas where there's going to be basements, you've got to be very cognizant of that square footage is not included at the same price point as the rest of the square footage. You want comps that also have finished out basements. You don't want to forget that you've got a rehab basements. If, things like that, people make those mistakes a lot of times. Finished out attics are not created equally to second story. You've got to only comp for the walkable space. Let's see. What else do I like to look at? Yeah, so you're looking for, let me see. I don't think I forgot anything. I don't think. Garage conversions. I don't typically like them. Let's see. A question that I always like to ask is when I'm verifying a lot of stuff. So you guys will submit comps. Keep in mind, if you see me pulling comps and there's additional square footage or something like that that's not showing up correctly on tax records, you got to let me know because I will give you the number wrong. So if I'm on your comp and there's something funky going on like that, but you guys will understand this is why I like to look at Street View and see how long ago that Street View is pulled. I don't go too far into analysis on the show necessarily. I do like to pull comps only on the show so I can get through as many as possible. And then also you're not getting some of that information like the condition of the property, the occupancy, stuff like that. So there can be multiple exit strategies and multiple ways to run numbers. You don't have to always be aiming for the top highest price point in the market. You can do a lesser rehab and list for less, and a lot of times still make the money. You know, rental numbers are pretty straightforward, but a lot of people don't really know how to run them. So I don't dig into running the numbers or the analysis of the deal too much on this show because it can get very convoluted. I may at some point do a couple of videos where I do some analysis out there. I'm probably already going to do it just for our Titans anyways. So we'll see about that, but I don't like to get too far into that because there's a lot going into building up those skills. I start with comps because it is the foundation that everything that we do is built on. So I appreciate you guys for following me, staying here. Make sure you hit that like button for me. I think I've got all of our appraisal rules or Cassie's comp rules covered, whatever you want to call them. And I will start digging in on these comps themselves. South B Street, Teffville. All right, we'll dig into Connecticut here. And keep in mind, you guys, I am looking for a blueprint property. And this is interesting. Looks like a duplex, I believe. Hi, honey. It's not pulling up on batch, sadly. 1 South B Street. I really hate it when this happens. So what I'm going to do here is search like this. So that's another little trick, you guys, is, do you see what I just did here? I took the one, which is the house number, and the south off. And I'm trying to figure out where is this property on this map, okay? So let's get in here on that Google map, okay? Now what I'm finding is, here's the Shetucket River. Here's South B Street, 2nd Avenue, okay? Come on, buddy. This is our subject property, I assume. I'm going to double verify that, but that's why it's not pulling up. Right? Nope, that's not our subject property. Here's our subject property. For whatever reason, it will not pull this up. But it's pulling up 9 South B Street. So this is why they call you the comp queen. That's such a pro tip. Batch support didn't even suggest that. That's what I'm here for. We are technically partially batch support. So you know what, guys? Like, it just comes from doing the work. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like, batch support is not going to have all the answers because they're not in here doing this work. You know what I'm saying? You got to, like, I've been doing this for a lot of years, you know, it is a pro tip. I mean, and it is support for batch. So yeah, I want to just make sure that we get this one in here. I'm going to comp on this. I'm going to click the details button and here we go. So I'm going to make sure and get in the street view, right? So we're dealing with pretty much, I think, the same property 3 times right here. And I'm going to make the assumption, and you will have to go verify that I'm comping this, okay? Or I'm at least using the property details from this to comp the same like and kind stinking property. 2 doors down. But I want to make sure that we have the same thing going on. Ours looks to have like some garage situation, didn't it? I don't know. We gonna have to look. Maybe not. I thought I saw a garage in there. It might have been one of the other properties. But we do have a shed. All right, so we're comping a like and kind property. No, we are not technically still using PropStream. I split test it, but it's not been very usable. In fact, I am constantly going in and split testing it, and I will show you guys an example of it later if I have time here. What happens is I pull comps in PropStream, and then I go to verify them, and they're not accurate. They haven't been accurate. I've in fact found very few accurate comps on PropStream anymore. I was in a property earlier today, and PropStream is saying like these houses sold for like 200 something thousand, and I went and I looked at and pulled them on several other sources, including Batch, and those addresses were selling at like 73,000 is the last sold. So I don't know what is going on there. I really don't. And those were not active and pending. I really don't know, but I know I'm not going to run numbers off of something like that when everything else is telling me that their information is wrong. So both the sheds in the backyard have been since removed. Okay, cool. I'm not really going to give a whole lot for a shed anyways. Do you use the saved filter comp presets? I like the idea, but it seems to be glitching on my end. When I click the preset, it removes all the comps and basically is just not usable. The idea is awesome. The same filter works manually inputted, not just on the presets. Hi, Facebook user. I don't know who you are because you didn't register for PropStream, but let me get into that because I talk about this every show. So let me dig in here. I'm going to comp based off of this. Nilton, not Milton. Okay, so you can reset your default filters, guys. I want you to understand that. One of the things that I am going to be requesting, and I don't know how long that it might take to do this, is that we get to actually enter in square footage. But right now it's a plus or minus a percentage, excuse me. So it's not that big of a deal for me. But you can reset your filters to ignore distance. You can ignore everything and then go adjust your own filters. So for me, this is not that big of a deal. I sometimes will, this is what I meant by I go broad and then I'll narrow it down, right? Now, obviously, I'm not even going to be paying attention to some crap down here, right, guys? Like, I'm really focused right here. What I just tell you about my comp rules. So there's multiple ways that you can do this. You can use these little fancy tools right here, and you can just focus on those, right? You can do a square, you can do a circle, you can do whatever you want to do. You can just select those that you want to focus on. Really, the only reason to do that is just so that you get only the properties like that you want to see, you know? I personally am not like, I don't care about this. You know, I don't really use it anymore. I used to quite a bit on PropStream because it is how I use the MLS. I am a licensed realtor here in Texas, so you can absolutely utilize those tools. Oh crap, what did I do? Sorry, I didn't mean to get out of there. So yeah, the presets, I don't really utilize them so much so anymore. But I will go broad and then narrow it down, right? So I definitely almost every time I go to comp something, I pick my own presets, right? I mean, this down here tells me something about the market, sure. And that's why I like to go broad. I want to know what this market can sustain. I don't want to be trying to have like $1 million house in the market that nothing is selling for over 300, right? But I don't focus too much on things that aren't comps in a lot of places. So realistically, I want to stick with these right here, right? We've got a perfect comp right here. I want to look at the details of that since it is such a good blueprint comp. This is probably going to be a decent comp as well. So I'm very much going to be heavily weighting this comp right here. Understand? So I'm going to filter through any photos I can get of this. And unfortunately, I can't get some of this data, right? Some of the property info and demographics, I will say, to answer your question, Quantum, I don't think PropStream is completely useless. I don't think it's completely useless, but I wouldn't pay for it if I wasn't me. I don't know how else to say that. Not right now. I have a lot of people who literally, one of our Titans was getting their data, and I don't like to trash talk anybody, and this is not about trash talk at all. I don't want people speaking negatively on my company because of one experience. I've said a lot of positive things about PropStream in my course of history, but right now, everything that I would use it for is not really working. But that being said, I don't do data on there because batch is better. I don't know how else to say that. I don't skip trace on there because batch is better. I don't, I'm not saying that there aren't people who are successful utilizing that and they're not getting deals, but my game changed when we switched over to batch, and batch just keeps getting better. So like, I don't use PropStream for anything. It's not a useless product either, so I can't really speak to that. One of the things that I want to see come out on batch is the linked properties tab. So I will still use it for that, and I'll continue to have a PropStream account just because, like I said, as somebody that people ask these questions to, I want the answers, and I was a huge advocate of them up until they sold. So I liked pulling I liked pulling comps in PropStream, and I would say it over and over and over again, and I'm just going to tell you guys why. It's the user interface for me. I was so familiar with it that it was faster. I'd used it for so long. Batch's comp tool has only been out since like October. It was like a year in October when they rolled out, and they've done a ton of updates, but I was just still faster on PropStream because I was just so used to it because I'd used it for years. So it was like really the only thing, and we would keep it to stay in tune with what other people are using. As somebody who is comping properties all over the nation, initially we had kept it because we could comp in places like Anchorage, Alaska, because we own property up there. We're all over the place, so of course I'm going to keep all of the tools in my tool belt that I need to get my job done. And so I didn't ever have a problem, even though I'm heavy supporter of batch because of what has worked for my business and so many other people's businesses that we have shown how we utilize these products. I'm not going to recommend something that I don't believe in. And so I will say right now, I kept these other products previously because there were a few markets where PropStream was definitely still better. But now I don't use it for data. I don't use it for skip tracing. I don't use it for list pulling. I don't use it for comping. I do use it for linked properties button because Batch hasn't come out with the update that has that yet, but I already know that they are. And there is some property details. Sometimes, and this is just my truth, okay? And Jesse, if you're watching, I love you. This is just my truth. Sometimes this information right here, in certain markets, I'll still get information on PropStream that I don't get in Batch. But as you can see, this information right here is sometimes usable for me. So anything like this is what the only things that I utilize PropStream for anymore. So hey Jermon, how good to see you. Glad you're here. Yeah, I'm not trash talking. I'm just telling you my current user experience. I mean, I'm a business owner. I'm not here but if people ask for my opinion and like I said, for years and years and years, RJ would love Propelio and he would fight with me on our lives, on our channels. He would be like, Propelio is better. I'd be like, PropStream is better. I have been a huge supporter of their company. I know people within that company that I would consider some of the most wonderful people that I have, connected with in the industry. But I'm not going to tell people a lie or avoid a question. But that's my truth right now. And like I said, I love that linked when they came out with that linked properties tab. I've watched PropStream grow up too. So I was just so in love with it. And I do love that feature. I really do love the features of the property details. But one of the things, for example, the user details in Batch is something that you don't get anywhere else. The demographics of the seller, that's something you never got anywhere else. And I love that, So, I mean, I'm speaking my truth here, you guys. I want everybody to be successful. And I can't honestly say on this date, I have previous episodes even. I think this is episode 12, 13, 14. I don't know. Over the course of, I haven't even been doing this maybe 6 months or a year. I've been doing this few months live on the show. And you can go back to Comp Queen episodes where I'm like, I really love PropStream for this and this and this. It's not me just saying that, but when I keep that content out there, as of this date right now, that's how I feel about the product. I don't really use it for a whole lot. But I'm going to keep it. And you can always tune in here. And if they fix their products, I'll speak on it. Look, we're all business owners here. Nobody's, if you're a business owner, you've been through it. So anyways, my point being, let's get back to this comp. Linked properties. I'll show you Jarrell here in a minute. Oh, thank you, Derek. I love it. I love it. That's why I do it. So it makes me so happy that you love it. Tell me you love it by smashing that like button. Okay. So back to where I was on this Milton, not Milton. Oh, it's so funny. Milton. What I like to do sometimes is really look at some of these sites right here on Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, because here's why, you guys. A lot of times, especially on multifamily, look what you get. Now, this might be, let's go look back at our street view and realize that this is from 2013, you guys. Do you see where that says that? Right here in this left corner, right here in this bottom right corner, okay? And I want to give you another pro tip here. Landlords tend to list their properties on Zillow, especially in certain areas, on Zillow, Realtor.com, when they go to rent them out or when they sell them. These might not be the most recent photos of the home. It might have been updated. You know, you guys probably will know that. Just depending on the last conversation from your seller. I mean, you already told me these sheds have since been removed. A lot of times you can go down here and figure out how old those photos are. 2020 2020 is when I'm guessing those last photos are. So it's not too far off, but it will give you like a really good understanding, right? Did this sell? This is what I want to look into. This is a really good indicator. It hasn't even been a year and a half. And this listing was listed at 103 and did not sell according to this information, right? So what I'm going to do, because I'm comping over here, I'm comping this property that's not actually our property because for some reason the Google Maps was being funky. I'm utilizing this for comps. I am understanding that it looks like this property, which is 18-20. Oh, this is 18-20, which is not our property. Excuse me. So this sold for 100. So this is our comp. So it did sell. Okay. It did sell for that price. So then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to see what my other comps were in this property. This also only has one photo. It looks like it has like a little bit different, layout. Obviously, you've got some kind of screened in porch here, which is kind of a nice feature in Connecticut, and states up there. I grew up in Northwest Ohio for a little while. So I love a good sunroom or enclosed porch. So I'm going to see if I can get pictures of this comp because it is $50,000 higher. Good thing is there are photos. There is a garage, so you want to take at least 10,000 off, which would put us my Lanta. I think it's going to be important that we probably don't have basement space, or if we do, it's probably a shared laundry room. You know, obviously ours is going to be forced to be a rental. Huge home zoned as a 2-family, so that's fantastic. A little bit bigger than ours. Not the greatest condition, you know, but how much better is that rent rate going to be at, you know, a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom? You know, how much more does that add compared to ours, which is probably, oh dear, no, that's great. It just has some more square footage than ours. So that's great. You know, I would really, really heavily focus on making sure that you understand what you are dealing with here, okay? Sale and loan. I am guessing something is not right here, because you notice that this property is sold last year for 100. So you've got to be careful when you're checking that information. And this is why I always did like having multiple upon multiple tools to utilize, right? So we've got 100,000 just like ours and another 100,000 just like ours. 18-20 and 9-11. So I would go verify those. So that gives you like a good ARV. I think it's really, really, really important, you guys. On properties like this, you need to go verify your rental comps and your condition very well, because that is a huge portion that's important, is how much you can cash flow on each unit. But you know, right there, I don't even take into 100% consideration this third comp over here at 150. Like straight up, you've got 2 blueprint properties, obviously needing different levels of work. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference for you to get, I think all fixed up, tenanted out, you're getting 150 easy. You know, I don't think you have to have that many more comps. The market supports it, and it's a little different because it's a multifamily. All right, so we had a couple more questions here. Let me scroll back up. I gotta write a couple things down. PropStream feature of getting an idea of what a homeowner owns on their mortgage. So it, like, yeah, when you're in a property page on PropStream, it will show all of the properties linked to that owner in that state. So if they own 5 properties, you know where their properties are. Let me write down another one of these so it doesn't get buried in the feed. You know, when I first started doing this show, you guys, I used to hate that dead air right there. It totally freaked me out. Hi, Brandon. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I am gonna... I'm having issues pulling a list on Batch. Trying to pull a multifamily list for the entire state of Kentucky. It only shows 2,100 leads, and it's showing 7,800 leads in PropStream just for Louisville. I'm just going to be honest with you when it comes to pulling data. Your filters are going to matter. I'm just being real with you. I know that it might be showing 2,800 in PropStream, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, be cognizant of when that was pulled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't want to speak to their data. I want to speak to the fact that when I pulled data there, the results were not the same. I haven't pulled data there recently though, but I do have a student who was. So I guess I could let them speak on it, but a lot of wasted money on inaccurate data comparatively was his feedback. Those are my thoughts. Hi, Anthony. So good to see you. Hey, are we going to be seeing you in just 6 to 8 weeks to go see Jocko? Right. The filters, Brandon, are so important. But that is my findings. I don't want to get too much into the data stuff on the comping show. But rest assured that we are constantly working on that. I mean, it is part of what we teach at the Crucible, so. Well, I'm pretty sure I have moved a property on this street, Jarrell, but I don't know that I think I'm getting to the point where there's no way I'm going to get to all these comps, which is a good thing. But I do encourage people to shoot me a message, and if I can get to it, I will. But honestly, off of the show if I don't get to yours. Oh my gosh, I need to remember to do that. My birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks, and by a couple, I mean 3 or 3.5. And I'm just gonna ask for that for my birthday. So Let's get on to the next comp here. 3777 Hilltop. And let's rock and roll through this. I'm going to start pulling comps fast here, you guys, because, you know, I want to try to get through as many as possible. And hopefully you guys see what you need to see with me moving quickly. Hilltop Drive, 29 Palms, California. All right, this is going to be a really interesting little spot. First thing I'm going to do probably is go to that street view, 1956-614. I'm assuming that this is going to be a land value type of comp in the middle of the desert. Do we have a street view? But do we? This is weird. No street view. It is going to be a magical birthday for me this year, Michelle. I'm so serious. This is my year, guys. For sure. All right. It does seem to have like a little bitty something on it. 614 square foot home. Comps. These filters are actually something I'm not going to like wiggle out of. It's plus or minus 20 within this many miles. The property details tell me that it is on 2.5 acres. So that's something I'm going to be cognizant of. Built in 1956. This might be one that might be worth like that land value. So I often come over here and I look at this total assessed value and property tax, the land value being 65 blah 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 6,500. I'm just talking, guys, like my brain actually works when I'm doing this, just so you know. I'm not super worried about crossing major roads here because we're out in the middle of the desert. But yeah, you definitely want to be cognizant. You've got all kinds of price points right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just sort this by distance, smallest to largest. We've got twice the square footage on the actual acreage. So what's really interesting about that, I mean, there's no photos. So I may just skip over that one. We've got this property right here is looking to be mighty fine comp, but of course I don't have street view, so I don't know what my property is going to look like. I would say this is blueprint property number one for us. And this would be exactly what I would be looking at. First and foremost, it is not that much larger. We've got literally the same size lot built a year earlier. This is our perfect blueprint property. Get the property in that condition. It tells you it should sell for that price. So I'm going straight at it with a 175 right out of the gates. I'm guessing that, you know, we will see bigger lots, but I found, again, my blueprint. So I don't want to sit here and try and delineate why some of these sold higher. I might look at some of the photos. This is on like 1.4 acres or something like that. I didn't really look at it. I mean, it's not that different. Maybe it's got a better view of the mountains. I don't know. I don't see the appeal of spending that kind of money to live out here, but some people do. I found that out like going through Vegas for sure. Oh, sorry. This looks to be on like many more acres. So, and this only sold for 165, but it looks like it was needing some TLC. This is a very similar situation. Has a little bit more square footage again, more acreage, same build year. Let's see what we got here. I mean, look, is it that concrete pad that's valuable to them out there in this desert? No, this has got needing some work, you know? So that's why this sold for more, because it has more to it. but they're not necessarily blueprint comps. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I'm going straight at this 175. I think it absolutely will appraise for that. I don't know what kind of work you need to put into the property to get it to that point, but I think you have plenty of supporting evidence to provide. And look, if you select all these bad boys, right? You know, you're going to get these averages up here that are going to tell you like this. The average price, though, is 174. So crazily enough, that's the exact perfect situation from a blueprint property. This is just doing a little algorithm based on like price per square footage. I don't know what I selected in here that was so low, but something's funky. There's a price per square foot off here, and I'm thinking it's that one. I mean, yeah, see how much that jumped up just by not deselecting that one property. So yeah, I'm still sticking straight at 175 for that bad boy. We have a perfect blueprint property though, and you don't have to over rehab that. I mean, you can just make it clean, livable, fix up, lendable, and sell that at 175, and it's a good list price for that market. 86 in Newark. Did I write that down wrong? Oops. Right street. If you guys are still with me, don't forget to hit that like button. It's important to me. Fernando, why you having me comp something, huh? Let me get this straight, sir. You steal my phone charger and then you steal my other phone charger? Yeah. Do you want this? Do you have the power bank or the power base? Yeah, I'm good. You're good? I think so. All right, my honeys. I did not mean to do that. We have a 1910 2779. I would love to see how many beds and baths this is. So I definitely, some of these older homes, I definitely like to go ignore build years because you have a lot of eclectic neighborhoods in here. Obviously, you don't want to comp it with new builds. Uh, 9 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I mean, the properties kind of look a little similar. I'd have to dig in because this square footage. Basements are going to be important here. So that if I had left plus or minus 10, using this as an example, this property right here that looks probably very similar to our property would not have been pulled up on the comps. Just so you guys understand why these older homes, I ignored the build years instead of whatever, you know. I mean, I'm thinking that these are going to be, this is just going to be based on how much is put into it. And a fully remodeled property is definitely going to go over 600. I would be looking into what the garage situation is, what the basement situation is. Wondering why a few of these right here specifically are going over 700, but you want to be careful of that. So I'm just kind of trying to stick right to our closest little spot and then zoom out just a tad. I'm really liking this a lot for like that 630 range, but again, I want to look and see why some of these little neighborhoods right here have higher. Is it just because is it because of the little pocket of neighborhoods, what it's in walking distance to? Because sometimes you'll have that, right? Or is it condition? Is it something to do with the homes? This is built in 1857, so you run into that sometimes. Where are we at in New Jersey? Yeah, especially up there. That can make a huge difference in a very short amount of distance, right? So I really like to stick to these. I would definitely be like digging into. The thing I hate about it is like when I can't get photos, that drives me bananas. Oh, look at this. Like this isn't like looking super overly remodeled, so you could potentially get more. And that might be the huge difference between those 700s. So this is organized. I just want to make sure. This is organized by distance right now, okay? So what I would do is click into that first one in the 700s that you can get photos on, or at least 650. This is definitely like row house situation. So this is not overly remodeled, like the old finishes. So I mean, that for me is like, well, go into the property details, see if it's that basement situation. Is it the garage situation? This is one of those markets where I would take off more than $10,000 for not having a garage. I think that you got to determine what the market value is for a garage to people here, like because it's a lot more. So I will use this as an example as well. Let me see if I can get into the infamous or currently infamous and see if I can pull any information. This is not accurate. You said the basement has 4 rooms that you rent out weekly. So you house hacked this or feed randomly goes out. I am not seeing anything about a garage whatsoever. So that I think would make a difference here. Certainly, parking is important, but that's kind of what I do. Utilize PropStream for still sometimes, you guys, because I want to verify what I might not know. So this just says not applicable. So, you know, I think that information is still good because it's pulling it from tax records and it's easier than me going to search for it on tax records, but I don't know that I would recommend. So yeah, that garage piece, these in the 700s really fast, you guys, are all seemingly newer and have garages. So that brings me back to my point of, excuse me, I don't think that if we go 30 years, right? Let's just try to do that. All those, see how a lot of those $700,000 properties just disappeared? But we still have some older properties. Like, why did that sell for $1 million and it's not that far away? Well, there's something special about those. This is 800. It's multifamily. I just don't think that this is a property that's, I mean, it's not going for more than 700, right? I like it because I'm seeing a lot of this said it was active. I was expecting there to be photos. Unbelievable. I'm not expecting for this to go for, I really like that 675 number, because a lot of these just look, it's got a window unit. You know what I'm saying? Sold for 653. I know that a lot of my comps are saying 635 to 655, right? I know I don't want to go above 700. I know we need to be careful about the garage situation. Don't think this 951 is going to work as a comp. One of these things is not like the others, right? We've got one down here active for 730, but again, that's active. I've got a lot of evidence telling me I would run numbers based on 675. Now, being that you own this, you know, if you're actually going to go list it, yada, 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 you know, you might list it for more, but I would run numbers on a purchase around 675 to be on the safe side, assuming that I would list it for 700, from what I can tell. You're very welcome. Yes, you'll have to run back and see it. Sorry you weren't on there. I just go in order of submission. So 28 North. Oh, what did I write here? All right, what do we got here? 1946, 22, 1416 square feet. Let's go. Let's dig right into this. First thing I'm noticing is like I've got very close proximity to commercial, so I'm going to zoom right in. Is it viewable from my property? Let's find out. Now, you guys can go to the street view right there on Batch, but I always like to pull open a separate tab because I get pretty, like, serious when I'm going through this. I'm very clickety click clack. So I don't hate the proximity to commercial for that reason. So I'm just going to zoom. I'm ignoring this build here. Again, a lot of these older homes, I mean, you don't have to completely ignore it, but a lot of times these neighborhoods, I'm not going to look at anything, you know, brand spanking new that I'm not going to realize it right out of the gate. So we've got 240, 1948, 31. We've got a 22. 31, 1240, 1947. So I'm going to dig into these bad boys and figure out why there are such different price points. My guess is anything like these are probably going to be my closest comps in these 250 range. Again, guys, you're looking for the consistent data. You're looking for your blueprint property. Oh, I'm digging this one. You want a JV? I don't remember who submitted it. but I like it. I like this one. And I got buyers. I mean, who doesn't? We need to be cognizant of the fact that we're 2-2 and this has no garage, this whatever carport thing. So yeah, let's dig into our property right here. I'm going to go sort by distance. I've got all my selected. Now, why is this 31 South Humes not selected? It's on my street. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing, Cassandra? I like it. 310. I didn't select it, but I like it. So let's go ahead and select our properties. Let's just see if we can turn our property into this property. That's what a blueprint property. Oh, look at it. Look at our little carporty thing. That's just like our little carporty thing. Cute. I like this for a good property. Is it possible to turn ours into a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom? Let's, either take $10,000 off or add a bedroom. Know what I'm saying? Good photos, guys. Very helpful. Let's try and see this one. What do we got? Dorbs. Don't even have to over rehab it. I'm going for it, guys. I like it. Okay, so everyone except for one of my properties has a 3rd bedroom. Except for this one, which I'm guessing is not rehabbed. I don't think that it's because, but we have a 2nd bathroom. Okay. That's really important. So I do think that our lower price points here, you're looking for 3 to 6 properties that an appraiser is going to pick, guys. I do think our ARV here very, 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 very much is safe in that 270 range. I really do. I don't think that this is over or under rehabbed, but I do like that it's brick, it's painted. I think this probably has an addition though, and I think that's probably why it sold for more. Just letting you guys know. That tax record may not reflect the actual price point that we're dealing with. Or, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or the correct square footage that we're dealing with. So it may have another bathroom, but I really like this for 270 ARV. Obviously you could do a little bit more, list a little bit higher, but that would be where I would aim and where I would run my numbers from. It's a good little property. Hit up that inbox if you if you need a buyer. Let's see. Let me catch up on these comments. Cassie, at what point in the process you comp a property? Only when you have the seller on the phone or before that. I do not comp before I get a seller on the phone. I talk to too many people. I comp it in like, boom, boom. I was on the phone maybe less than 10 minutes and locked up 2 deals earlier today because I accidentally had a call routed to my phone. I definitely, you guys want to get to the point where you're that good at pulling comps. Again, I say it every episode, or at least I mean to. It's the foundation of everything that you do. If you can't comp a property, you can't do deals. You know what I'm saying? So I don't start running numbers and doing analysis on deals until I have a motivated seller on the phone. You're going to sell it in a couple of months. Oh, honey, list that bad boy for $700. Get you a really good agent. I mean, I don't know what condition it's in, but I'm assuming pretty stinking good. Let's go, Anthony. Me, I'm guessing that was your property right there in Memphis. Let's go. Does Batch Leads show the MLS data? Yes. It shows, you guys have to understand, like they're pulling data from all kinds of different sources. So it is, yeah, the most accurate. Now, I mean, there's going to be places where they don't maybe have access to the MLS data somewhere. I mean, that happens. It happened with every one of these programs. But, yeah, they do have, I mean, PropStream, you guys understand, Zillow shows MLS data, like, on what's listed. Like, when I am going to list a property in the MLS, I click a button, a check mark that says show it on Zillow, show it on these other websites, and I say yes. So all of them have MLS data. It's MLS sold properties that PropStream does not have anymore. So I don't know all the details. All right, so let's see. How long have I been going? An hour and 10. Okay. I've gotten a handful of prompts in here. Let's see. I want to see if I can hit a record this week. What do you guys think? 719 Lancelot. Is it Lancelot or Lancelot? Lancelot Road. Jackson. I guess it would help if I spelled Lancelot right instead of Lancelot. Lancelot. Lancelot Road. Maybe it was Lancelot. What kind of goofy? Oh my goodness, it was Lancelot. My word. All right, 719 Lancelot. Hey, I like this. Little cutie up in Jackson, Mississippi. 1188 square feet. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. I see. I ran into this earlier and it made me so mad. This was the market. This was the market that I wasn't getting any sold comps earlier, and I went to PropStream and I was verifying them that I mentioned earlier, and like it was not correct. Did I pull this property for somebody earlier? No, because I would have remembered Lancelot for sure. Yeah, I'm having trouble for whatever reason today in Jackson, Mississippi. Pulling comps. It's making me mad. So let me try to back out of everything. Look at that. I know that is a doggone lie. So this little copy button here, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens when I do this. I am wondering, we're going to split test right here on the live. Look at that. It actually sold. It actually sold, but something's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, y'all. It was pending sale at 155. Look, list price is 156. So for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anybody here ever owned property in Jackson, Mississippi? If you have, you'll understand where I'm coming from. And I am not dogging on anybody or anything or any place when I say this, but I have owned property in Jackson, Mississippi. And let me tell you one thing that was I still own a property in Jackson, Mississippi. And let me tell you one of the things that you run into in Jackson, Mississippi, the recording of the deeds and the sold properties and the things was not ever the most quick experience. I don't know why all of these say active and pending right now, because there's no way in the past 12 months they're all just still active and pending. That was sold in April. But something is going on batch, and this was not always the case. This was not always the case because I've pulled comps in Jackson and batch. But today, I was today years old when I discovered this. Something's going on where like they're not where they're pulling their data from. It's not pulling it up as sold. Is it the county? I don't know, because Zillow is showing me the sold in 2021. It's just, you can't look. You just gotta thumbs up it if it's your comp. It's not actually the correct status as far as pending sold, So just go verify that. But let's dig in a little more here. And this is what really threw me off when I ran into this earlier. I went and was like, well, let's see what's going on in PropStream. And it was giving me a bunch of properties that were like way more expensive. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here, instead of messing around with all of those, and you guys will see me do this, sometimes I'll do the map view and I'll thumbs up from the map and pick my comps right there. And then sometimes I'll do this by distance and I go through here and I look at it in list view. The reason I do this is because I learned how to comp on the MLS. I'm not really sure that this is a comp for me, okay? I'm not really sure that this is a comp for me, but I like this one. 2-1-15-30. So I'm probably going to thumbs up this one. I want to see where it is located on my map. Is it across a busy place? Are we actually sold? I'm going to look that up. I do like this price point, this 155 range right here. But this is a lot more square footage. Okay. I'm not finding anything in this lower square footage, so you've got to be super careful about that. We do have a larger lot, so that makes me very, very much more comfortable. I might take a little detour around these neighborhoods. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near these like more expensive ones across this highway right here, anything like that. I do think, I mean, look at this, sold for 95. Probably outdated. I really like this as like my blueprint property. My numbers hitting right there for my ARV. I think that this is what this little market is going to be able to sustain. This is obviously added on to, it's got some big old breezeway garage situation. Not going to be super comparable, but this is not comparable. Not comparable. See what I'm saying right there, guys, from our, like, this is like a little boxy cutie. We got, you know, we're not making this huge old house by adding stuff on here. So I'm keeping this down to that reasonable range. I'm thinking like probably 135 to 145 is a really reasonable number that I'm going to get to. 83.49. See what I'm saying here? This is 140 a square foot and 95 a square foot. Now I want you guys to see something really fast. Let me see if I can find one. 184 a square foot. 82 a square foot. This is a lot larger. So the higher the square footage, the lower the price per square foot is what I am trying to show you. Let me mess with this really fast and do this again. Only because I want to see what those price per square foot. So yeah, I really like that at that 105 or 110 range. So 1188 square feet. You know, I'm just verifying the number that I came up with. At 130. So that 110, if you list this at 130, you're going to be getting 110 per square foot. I do think that that's a good range. Like I said, 135 is probably where I would aim to list this. Up, 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 up. What do you do when a comp that is a blueprint comes up at 1,500, but one that's bigger by 300 square foot is at 189? Well, my dear, I comp it. There's not like a real like general answer to that question. I mean, I just experienced like that kind of situation. If you have big man on the block or you're the small guy, you got to make those adjustments. You don't want to be trying to get a blueprint comes up at 1,500, but it's not a blueprint. If your blueprint property is 1,800 square feet, You know what I'm saying? So I'm not 100% sure I understand that question. But yeah. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get to your Clearwater, Florida, but let's try to move on. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more ahead of you, Dylan. You may be one of those if I can't move quickly. If I don't get to you, maybe one that has to message me. Don't forget to spell my name right. Clearwater, Florida. All right, so 7414. How many Coral Sea roads are there? Are you kidding me? That was crazy. Did you guys know that it's mandatory to hit like on this video if you want me to comp a property for you? I check these things. I crack myself up. All right, we got a 3,217, 91 square feet on a quarter of an acre. Mandatory. My biggest fans here. Hi, Mr. Blaine. All right, what do we got? Bow, 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 bow. One of these things is not like the other. That's this one. Why did you sell for so low? Florida always kills me like this, right? Or Jacksonville, anyways. What do you look like? And why do you get to back up to the forest? Oh my goodness. What is this thing? I gotta know. Uh-oh. We might not be able to comp anymore, you guys. Can you still see me? Can you still hear me? Do I really only have 18 people watching? Man, I don't even know if I'm going to do this show anymore. Y'all better share this with your friends. In my drawer. In my desk. No? What is that thing? Is this like 3-in-1? Is that a sunroom? I think it's a sunroom. Oh, wow. Oh, my. Oh, dear. I had to see it. I'm sorry. But wow. Wow, wow, wowza. This is a really interesting choice of a lot of things going on here. Don't do that. We hear you. Thank you, Steve. Said don't do that. Loud and clear in Boston. I like people from Boston. That thing is nutso. And this sold 1,500 3.2. It sold for I think 170. Jeez Louise. What? Now that leads me to believe we are feeling really good about our other comps here. Aren't you guys feeling pretty good about these other comps over here? I don't think it's gonna hit like 230 unless like this one leads me to believe so, but I would dig in a little bit. Well, ooh. What I'm trying to see is these, okay? Let me get in here. I hate converted garages, but you guys, I know that Florida is one of the only places that they don't care nearly as much as I care. So this is definitely one of those where it's like $10,000 off. Does the square footage include this enclosed garage or not? Good gravy. Get a roof. I'm assuming a full rehab. I'm taking off for that garage, or you're gonna have to pop a carport on here, right? Like Floridians be doing this all the time. As per example, by the next door neighbor, they probably just didn't finish this out. that kind of thing. So I really like this one as a comp on Event Drive. Obviously it's got new windows, it's painted. On the outside, they gave it, their version of that curb appeal. So that one sold for 180. I don't know that we're gonna get up in this range. So I'm gonna look through, these, because this was my big concern with this. We've got a brick home, it's a multi-level, it looks like. I just don't think that this is a good blueprint count for us. Now, does it help us? Sure. What is this one? This one makes me feel good. It's on the same road. So those two are really good. That's 225 and 231. Oh, crud muffin. It wasn't that one. It was this 235 and one on Avant Road. So these two make me feel really good. I don't think that 260 is going to be our friend. Again, you're trying to get, oh, poop. Didn't mean to do that. You're trying to get the most like in kind. That made me feel like we could go higher, but because it was so goofy. What do we got here on Oakside? Gorgeous. 1880 square feet. Come on. So, that's got that a little bit more curb appeal. So I would take off a little bit for that. You know what I'm saying? But I do like it. I'm thinking that that's going to give us like a super good number here. When you consider the other comps, I know you see them for like 260, 230, 250, but I just don't think that those are going to be actual comps for us. Well, that one is. Jeez Louise. 1557. Again, you got to take 10 grand off for the garage. I do not think that you should expect to get more than 220 out of this personally. 225 just because of the houses themselves, even though you have evidence to support a higher number. A couple of those, you guys, I'm just letting you know, the lot in and of itself on the market, this one being an example, you don't have to deal with as many neighbors. I think we're overestimating it if we're looking at something like this as a comp. Maybe I'm crazy though. Shit. Do they have a basement? What do they have that we don't have? An extra anything. I don't know. Maybe the market just went up that fast and it's because we're comping in early 2021, Yeah, I mean, if you really go all out, maybe if that garage isn't, if that enclosed space is not included in the square footage, I think it probably is. Maybe give the garage back and get it back down to 1,500, really deck it out. Take it to the nines. You could hit higher than 230. But I think you have evidence for like that 220 to 230 range, as well as evidence that you could go into that 250 to 260 range, just depending on what you put into it. So, let me answer that on camera. Absolutely yes. It actually does. I do know the reasons behind it. It is accurate. And yeah, the end. Changed my life. All right, we're at an hour and a half. I might have one more in me, which means there's going to be 3 that I don't get to, in which case you guys might want to inbox me and try and catch me when I'm feeling not too busy. Or get here earlier next week. But I might make you go share this to someone who needs it. Reno, Nevada. Man, it's been a while since I did something in Reno, too. Or Nevada, for that matter. 3-1, 1188 square feet. This is the second property on this show. I had 1188 square feet. Might need to be paying attention. Holy crap. Reno. Girl, you are on fire. What more do I need to see? I just saw that sold price and was like, what? Your property is worth so much more. Closest property to is sold for $625 in my default settings. Holy shit, is niddle. This is 1422 square feet though, and at that price per square foot, I can see why I'm not selecting that one right out of the gates. I'm gonna try to get really close on my square footage right here and say hopefully that one is a really good blueprint. Holy crap, Oli. Reno, Nevada. I would be so disappointed. Look at it though. So cute. Oh my goodness. They did a really good job on this remodel. So this seems to be like a really good blueprint property to me. Obviously I'm not looking at street view. They staged it very well as well. I'm thinking I will very much land in that 580 range. The end. This one was pretty quick for me to get to a number. I just go and then verify that number. We've got really good comps here, you guys. This is a 2-bedroom. So, you can kind of pop on another $10,000 plus some square footage for us. So I think it's still a really good comp. I mean, I'm going 580 right out of the gates, and I have multiple properties that are supporting evidence. Now, that being said, I didn't even look at the street view. We got a really big tree. I can go look at the street view, but yeah, I'm sticking with, I don't think I'm going to change my mind off of 580 on this. Is that yours, Brandon? Oh, Maria, I love you. You just put a comp in, but I'm not going to get to you because we're at an hour and 35 and you got like 4 people in line in front of you. Already announced this is probably going to be my last comp of the day. So you, my darling, are going to have to enter that in on the hotline and we'll get it comped for you. That's only for last week. I had somebody, when I told one of our students to enter it in on the hotline, they were like, how do I get the hotline number? And I'm like, become a Titan. So the hotline isn't for everybody. So if you're not a Titan and I didn't get to your comp, please feel free to message me social media. But I saw something last night and I want to end with this today. I like to protect my focus. Okay. So I'm very focused on titanium. I'm very focused on our business and my strong suits in it. I'm very focused on my team and I'm very focused on our students, if you call them that, our mentees, our Titan family. So, I put that first and I protect my time outside of that. I am very generous, probably at times too generous with my time when other regards, because I love what I do and I love helping people. And RJ and I were very lonely in the beginning of our career, and we didn't have a lot of the resources that are available to us now. So we are always trying to provide resources like that as much as we can for free, but do understand there is a cost associated with that. And we don't want, our team or our Titans or ourselves or our families to suffer from that. So we are at a point where truthfully, I hate even saying it. At one point in time, I was just so grateful to have anybody that wanted to talk to me about real estate. So do understand that it is not in a negative or mean or spiteful or bad way that I say that. I love you guys. I appreciate your support, but I could be on here comping all day and never stop. And I guarantee you, like, maybe I'll just do like we did the 50-50-50 marathon. Maybe I will just set aside a vacation day and just comp live nonstop. We'll just do a comp marathon. See if it helps the business. Actually, I like this idea. If you're a fan of it, you better share this shit and maybe I'll do it. I think it would be really fun and beneficial, but yeah, unfortunately every Wednesday I can't stay on here for hours and hours on end. I try to keep it under an hour and a half because I know that means I'll probably go between an hour and a half and 3 hours or 2 hours. Sorry. Ugh. I've definitely gone over 2 hours. I mean, I could comp here all day. So, but maybe I will set aside time for that in the not distant future where I can just, comp for a whole day, do a comp marathon. But I'm going to have to convince the Viking wizard himself that it will be beneficial to us in some way. So, we'll have to do like a little marketing piece and, make sure it gets shared out. So my faithful followers on this show are going to have to like really be like, comp marathon, like you're going to have to support it and share it. Otherwise, he's going to be like, but look, I don't really know that I can have you pulled away for a whole day and then it'll take a while before we can schedule it. And we don't, we got other things. I really want to do this for you guys. I actually like it. How have I not thought about this yet? How have I not thought this yet? I keep my plate pretty full and I like to protect my focus. But, when I get into that creative space, I usually think of things like this faster. I'm shocked. The 50-50-50 was a while ago. Like that was like just an acquisitions marathon for 50 days. I'm still blown away that he did that. Or I say he did that. We definitely did that. That was not all him, but I mean, man, being in front of camera that long. He definitely was on camera a lot more than me. But yeah, I like this comp marathon. That way, I can comp more lives for you guys. So if you're a Titan and I didn't get to your comp today, please put it in there. If I did not get to your comp, if you're one of the three others that I did not get to, then please shoot me an inbox a message. Spell my name right. I'll put it back up here. That's how you spell my name. If you're not added on my social media, add me. Shoot me a message saying I was on the Comp Queen show and you didn't quite get to my thingy bobby, my comp today. If you let me know that, I will do my best, but I will be honest with you. I'm sure that there's somebody that has messaged me that I've missed before. And I don't want to miss. I want to help you guys as much as I can. as much as I can. Why is that giving me the wrong tool? What are you? I want to figure out what this guy is. Oh, my Lanta. What just happened? All right, I want to gonna dig in here for the last couple of minutes of the show to see if I'm right. Or if we can even squeeze a little more out of this ARV. What is different about this? 3, 2, 14, 22. This looks like a... Oh my gosh. Am I really being a dingus? What? No, I mean, that looked like a really good blueprint comp and it sold for a lot more. So I'm just letting you know, a lot of people look at this a little bit differently than I do too, you guys. When I said 580, I really like this for a comp, but sometimes I'm not running my numbers or my offers based just on that. You know, you've got to make sure you're not always trying to get the most. I'm guessing this one needed a little bit of work. I'm not sitting here running my numbers thinking I'm going to only get this price, just like I'm not saying I'm only going to get this price. It balances itself out. And these are really consistent numbers on the rest of my comps. I don't see as much in the 600 something range, you know. 585 works for me too. One of these things is not like the other. I'd have to figure out why. Does this have a basement? Does this have a what? Or did they just get lucky? Or did they list it more recently? I definitely would look into like what is going on Nixon Avenue over here, because this bad boy sold for $820,000. Oh my Lanta, look at that. Ooh, Lord Jesus, they just decked this bad boy out. Ooh. I mean, look at that. They have the best photographer on the planet. I mean, hello, can I get a load of these fall colored trees up in my front yard now? This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Something ain't right here. You understand what I'm saying here? Is this a historical district 2 miles or 2 blocks away? What is happening on Nixon Avenue? It's got chandeliers. It's got all kinds of craziness. This is something's not recorded right. Like one of these things is not like the others. Guarantee you, if you go and look into it, which I'm not going to do. But why is this one? What is going on in the, whoa, hello, castle front. Look, oh, what? No, something's going on. Something's funky. Why? Do these have like whole, okay, this is helping me answer my question. I was going to say, do these have whole basements and the others didn't? Do they have additions? Is it historic district? What is going on? This is not finished out well, top or bottom, but I'm guessing something's going on where it almost doubles the square footage versus, look at that. You have a walk-in basement. Yes, please. I'm loving that house. So what is happening on ours? Okay. These are the things I want you guys to be looking at. Reno, girl, you got it going on in this neighborhood. I'm thinking, my guess is we're not going to have a basement. About to find out. They're going to list the basements last. Bada bing. Pretty sure your girl here was right. So yeah, I'm sticking really close to that 585 number. Now you guys can go, I don't know whose property this was. Thank you, Brandon. This is legit like who I am. So thank you. That's a huge compliment to me, because not everybody might appreciate my commentary. You got to keep it fun, right? Like this is how I comp. I get excited about it. I love to comp. I love what I do. Yes, ma'am. Put that in that hotline. If this is your property in Reno, love you too. Thank you for showing up, and I'm happy to be here for you. If this is your property in Reno, go verify the garage situation, but I'm thinking 585. I don't want to spend forever because I'm pretty sure I'm right. But those would be the things I would look out for as far as making sure you don't have evidence to support maybe a little bit higher, closer to the 600, but that's what I would run my numbers off of. Just off of the cuff, I'm thinking maybe those other couple properties that are getting it way far up there. It's that double square footage or having some addition that's not being pulled somehow on tax records, what have you. You know, hey, speaking of basements, another thing to be careful of, you guys, if you're in a market that lists this basement square footage in the square footage, I always make sure I like to read the property descriptions if I can. That is another thing that I still go to PropStream for sometimes. So, well, no, I think that they pulled that. It's just on the actives. So you can get that on Zillow. Sorry, I got excited there for a minute because I thought I was going to be able to talk more good things about PropStream. And then I just realized not so much. But yeah, that's one of the things I always did love, because PropStream has historically had more of that MLS data as far as like the property listing details in more markets. I guarantee you this gets fixed in an update soon in batch. Just because, like, but the wonderful thing about batch side donation is that they take not just from like us, because obviously at this point, I mean, if you guys haven't figured it out, like, we're tight with them at this point. We were not always, but just to leave it to you, they keep it open for like user recommendations or requests. Like, you literally can put in they have a comment box, you know, like if you're old school at the church comment box, you can put in an anonymous request for Susan to stop being, you know, passing out the, I don't know. I was going to make something up funny, but I've lost the moment. No longer funny. Anyways, I love you guys. Okay, Brandon, that's your property. Double check that, but I'm thinking that's a strong 585 is how I'm running my numbers on it. If I'm flipping it, if you're flipping it, I will dig into it more, but and get more information. I always on this show, you guys, last note, always on this show, if I'm not getting the current condition, the occupancy, and asking price, what's the story? Does it have a tenant? Is there a rent rate? Blah, blah, blah. I don't go into too much analysis. So I am giving a general number based off of a flip or a rental. It is not going to be your end all be all, but once you start digging into the finer details of what is going on in a property, of course, you can add a bathroom in the flip. You spend more money in the flip, but you might be able to list it for more, you know, so understand that when I'm going through these, that's the kind of stuff I'm saying, right? You are looking for a blueprint property for your exit strategy. Exit strategy is important. We spend hours on it at the Crucible for a very good reason. So understand that these comps are not going to be your perfect list price. Fernando, if you're still watching, you know, definitely if you're listing that property, you're going to list it for higher than that 650 or whatever number I gave you. For sure. If your agent tells you less, you better tell your girl here a reason, because I want to hear it. And it's so, you know, it just depends on the condition of the property, right? So I'm not getting that information. So I'm just giving you a basic understanding, knowing that most of my followers are in the industry. They are looking for, you know, these are going to be like flip or investment properties that they're holding, wholesale, so on and so forth. They're not, you know, retail necessarily, but I do think about it as a listing agent, as a seller, as a buyer, as a market, you know, blah, blah, blah. So thank you for joining me. Please like and share. Tell the Viking Wizard, my partner, that you think we should do a comp marathon, and maybe we'll get it scheduled in. Until then, you can see me here at 3 Central Standard Time on Wednesdays, unless I change it. So you better follow along, because what if I change the schedule on you? Then you're not going to get a notification. So, but typically speaking, 3 Central Standard on Wednesdays. I will see you guys next time.